I'll try to say hi to you all as I see the chats go by. My name is Terry Foster. I am a Constellations Fellow here at the Constellations Center for Equity in Computing. I have been in education for about a decade. Prior to that, I worked in the industry as a programmer, project manager, application support. So I was in IT basically. But I've always had a passion for service, and I've always had a passion for computer science. So once I got burnt out of being in the industry for a little over 10 years, I decided to go into education. And I went into this program that Georgia Tech had at the time. They had a grant where they were looking for folks who were once in IT that wanted to teach computer science. And so I was a part of 3 cohorts. I was the 3rd cohort. And through that program, I got certified to teach computer science. I was placed in Atlanta Public Schools in early 2010. And so I did my student teaching at Maynard Jackson High School, actually. And then from there, I went on to Carver. But during that time, I still kept my relationship with Georgia Tech. And so when the opportunity presented itself to be a fellow for the Constellations, I jumped right on it. And I've been here for going on almost 3 years now. So I'm excited to see you all tonight. It's like we have a lot of middle school teachers. This is awesome. Most of you will be using the simulator. Okay. By the way, I will be, let me go ahead and share that link now. I'll share the link to the slide deck so that you all have that. So that you can either move forward or behind with me or whatever, but you'll also be able to have this deck because it has some amazing resources, some awesome resources. So please keep that deck on hand, keep it handy. And so let's move right along. It's great to see you all. Okay, so for those that don't have a microbit, I teach microbit camps with, oh, nice to meet you, Jason. So this won't be new to you. So for those who aren't familiar with microbits, this is what it will look like, or this is what they look like. And I actually have one physically with me here. And so this is just a diagram of what the components look like. You have so basically a microbit is just a tiny computer that allows you to learn how to program and create really cool and neat projects. That can be either fun to interact with or even used to solve problems. You have your buttons on the front. There's an A button, a B button. You can use them individually or together. And then on the back, you have a reset button to reset your program if you needed to do that, as well as some ports for battery pack, which is I really love about this because it allows your programs and your projects to be portable. Wearable in this case for today, the activity we're going to do. And you also have a port for your USB cord so that you can transfer your code from your computer to your microbit controller. It also has an antenna built inside the controller so that it can communicate with other microbits, which is a really cool activity. If we have time, I'll talk about that activity or some activities that you can do that involve that. And it also has a Bluetooth capability so that you can communicate to a smart device. I've seen some projects where you can actually create a program to have it create like a remote control to trigger your camera on your smart device. So almost like having like a remote control for your selfies, which I think is kind of cool. All right, just want to make sure there's nothing in the chat. Okay, cool. So just to give you some background on microbits, over 25 million students are using them today in 70 countries. And the accessories are endless. I mean, there's so many accessories that you can add to these controllers, alligator clips, sensors, all types of things. So I'm going to give you some information about that toward the end. I'm trying to be cognizant of our time since we don't have as much time as a traditional microbit workshop is usually anywhere from an hour to 2 hours long. Again, this is going to be helpful for you offline. These are some resources that you can look at. For those who aren't familiar with the tool at all, some first steps, the user guides, how to teach using how to teach with using this device remotely, and also for students who want to learn at home. So for those that have theirs with them, go ahead and plug it in for me, please. For those that don't, I'm going to give you your alternate solution in 1 second. But for those that have theirs, go ahead and plug it in. And by the way, a lot of these slides are from Katie Henry, who actually did one of our microbit sessions this past summer. We had a Constellation Summit this past summer, and Katie was kind enough to share some of her slides with me. So some of these are straight from microbit themselves. So once you plug it in, go ahead and pair your device. For those that forgot how to do that, so just click on those 3 dots. Oh, I skipped a step. You should have already opened up, microbit.org. So let's go ahead and open up a new browser tab. I use Chrome. You know, just the other day we were trying to use this with Safari, and we had some issues with where some of the buttons were on the interface. So if you can, try to use Chrome for tonight. For my Mac users, I'm still working out, I guess, directions on how to use this with Safari. But if you can, use Chrome. So again, open up a new tab and go to microbit.org. Thank you. The makecode.microbit.org it'll also take you to that link as well. So if you click on that link, thank you, Jason. And from there, if you click on so there should be a button, and let me share that. Hold on. I'll share that for those that are. Alrighty, so from here, if you click on New Project, and you can give this project any name that you want. Just put test or sample. And what I want to do now is just get you familiar with the interface for those who aren't familiar with the interface at all. So this is your canvas area. This is where you would drag out your blocks. By the way, we're using blocks for today. You can also use JavaScript if you were to toggle this button here at the top, but we're going to be using blocks today. On the left-hand side, you have your categories where your blocks are found. This is very similar to like Scratch or trying to think of something like Snap, if you're familiar with those tools. And then this is your emulator here. I don't know if you can see my mouse at all, but this is your emulator toward the left. So these are your main categories that you have. Your basic, your input. You have some music categories, radio when you're ready to transmit between devices, your loops, variables, and so forth. All right. So for those, let's see my chat here. Okay, chat looks good. For those that just came in, we are on microbit. We're on makecode.microbit.org, and we're in the editor. And so today, what I have for you all, put this in my shirt here. So I started playing with microbits about a month ago or so. And as soon as I put mine out of the box, the first thing I thought about when I saw that I could connect it to a battery and have it as a wearable was, hey, I'm going to create these Zoom reactions. We've all been in this Zoom climate over the last 6 or 7 months or so. And so I thought it would be really cool if students could code like a Zoom reaction instead of using the thumb up or the physical thumb up or using the buttons on the Zoom interface. If they could somehow just press the buttons on the microbit to indicate if they were good, or hit this B button for X, or even both buttons to have their name scrolling by. And I'll kind of put this a little closer so y'all can see that. So that's what y'all are going to be creating today. All right. So I thought that was kind of cool. So if you don't have the physical microbit, you can still use the emulator for this. Okay. Just by chat, is there anyone that's not familiar with microbit at all? Because it'll allow me to skip some steps if everyone is familiar with it. So if you're not familiar with microbits at all, respond in the chat saying me. Okay, great. Awesome. So let's skip ahead. So what I was going to do was make sure nobody responded. Okay, what I was going to do was kind of go through the interface, but I can skip that now. So let's do this. So you're all familiar with Classroom, right? So Classroom is a tool that allows you to create synchronous sessions with your classes and teach microbits programming that way, or teach programming with microbits that way. And so today, I've already created a Classroom session for you all. So if you were to open up another tab, go to microbit.org/join, and then type in that pin once you've selected the classroom name based on those objects there, yellow, chicken, speedboat, and basketball. And I have a little challenge for you today. Go ahead and join that for me. For those that aren't familiar with how to use Classroom for Microbit, in the slide deck, I have a link to our session, our Constellations session we had this past summer. And Katie Henry, who was the facilitator for the session, she actually has a really good video that you can follow along on how to create your classroom sessions. So again, if we had more time tonight, we would do both, but we really don't have that much time tonight. All right, so let's see who's in. I have 3 students so far. Kelly, 5, just filling up. Fuller, great. So again, microbit.org/join. On the drop downs, select those categories, yellow, chicken, speed, boat, basketball, and then type in that pin and then your name. And sometimes I like to go in as a test student just to make sure that nothing funky is happening. So I'm going to join as well. Okay, so your challenge is, and if you notice when you hit continue, after you put in the code, the pin, if you hit continue in your name, you should see that I've given you some starter blocks, okay? And I also added comments on top of them. If those comments are in your way or confusing, you can minimize them by clicking down the little down arrow, and they'll kind of they'll go away. And so your challenge is to create what you saw me demonstrate earlier, using the up arrow icon. So if you press the A button, I want you to make an up arrow icon, meaning that you're good. So my Zoom response, if you were to ask me, hey, Terry, do you get the lesson today? A button, up arrow, I'm good. If I press the B button, I'll get an X, which says, no, I'm not good. I need more help. And then I want your name to crawl in a loop that loops 2 times using the A and B buttons. And then we'll talk about the bonus in a second, because I know a lot of you went right to the bonus, but we'll talk about the bonus in 1 second. Yes, Jaleese, I'll actually give you a link at the end for some vendors that carry the updated microbits. Yeah, it's funny. We just ordered some ourselves here at Constellations for workshops. And immediately after they got here, we found out that the version 2 with the mics and the speakers arrived. We're like, darn it. So yeah, I'll give you that information. You're welcome. All right, so let's make sure we have everybody in there. We got about 12 folks in the room. About 8 have joined my classroom, so that's, I guess, a good number. So is there anyone that has a question on what we're doing? So I provided some of the blocks, some of the event handlers for you, but not all of them, so that it was a little challenging. And what you have to do is create this Zoom response program so that when I press the A button, the B button, or A and B, those things happen. So I'll give you about 10 to 15 minutes to do that, and then we'll talk about the bonus. However, if you're just good like that and you're ready for the bonus, please move on to the bonus. So I'm just being nosy right now. I'm looking at some of your solutions. Very good, very good. If there's anyone that's stuck, please let me know. All right, let's check you out. Let's see what we got so far. Looks good. Looks good. Up arrow. Okay. Getting there. Okay, looks good. Looks good. All right. I see no one has tried the bonus yet. Okay. All right, so is there anyone that thinks they have an idea of how to do the bonus? You can say so in the chat, or if you want to speak, you can. I do, okay. Dr. Brent Johnson, if you would like to speak or even show your face, please hit the share audio screen button or video and audio button, and I'll let you on. Let's see, did it work? I should be coming on any second now. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to deal with my 3-year-old at the same time as this.
Yeah, hey, we're all doing that, bro. No worries.
Yeah. So I don't know how to share my screen.
There should be like a little monitor icon right next to.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So I did not see in the instructions, and maybe I missed it, but where to put the check. I didn't see anything about the check sign. I see an X. I see an up arrow.
You know what? I apologize. This was a combination of two different things. So it should have said, hold on. Let me go back and fix that. It should have said, have the up arrow. My apologies.
Okay. All right. So if that's the case, give me 1 second to replicate what I have here for that then.
My bad, Mrs. Fuller. Sorry for the confusion. I combined these from something else, and you know, sometimes when you copy and paste, you get that.
All right. So for the check, or excuse me, for the up arrow, and for the X would be this. So you have a repeat loop housing the up arrow, pause block, clear screen, pause block. You don't have to tell me how to do these handles. I've never seen that before. It's pretty cool. And then the same thing here. So when I press.
You mean the comments?
Yes.
Oh, so if you want to minimize those, do you see the little arrow?
Right click.
No, at the top of the actual comment itself. Yeah, you can minimize them that way. But if you want to add them, yes, you right click and you add comments. Okay. And I usually make students comment, you know, in their code. We usually do that when we do text coding. So.
Yeah, genius. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Just you have the actual LEDs, show LEDs, up sign or up arrow, pause for the delay, clear screen, pause again, and that's what causes the flashing.
Perfect. So you got that part. So remember, for the bonus, there were 2 parts.
Did I miss the rest of it?
Uh-huh.
The revised code said the sequence from one button being pressed interrupts another sequence that has already started.
Do you understand what I mean by that?
Is that using a while loop?
I can't give you the answer, but what I'm asking you is because when I initially did this project, whenever I would press like the A button, and let's say it's looping 10 times, and then let's say I wanted to change my mind in the middle of that sequence, and I wanted to say, oh, by mistake, I hit A, but I meant B. Before it was waiting for that loop to finish before it would start my next sequence. So I wanted you to revise your code so that it interrupts the initial sequence that started and starts the new sequence. And I think Kelly says she may have it.
Go ahead, Kelly. But let me just say what I think it is. I
Okay.
think it's using logic and hold on one second.
And this is where you can add this component. So like if you present this during CSED week, you probably want something very low level at first because you don't have a lot of time during CSED week, depending on your classroom. And so that's why I gave you all the first part. But then maybe you have some advanced students or you have more time, then you can introduce this bonus part of, well, how do you stop one sequence from, or how do you stop one sequence so that the other sequence can start instead of waiting for it to finish? So I think Kelly responded first, and then we'll give Alec a shot.
Okay, I'll go and stop.
Okay, but thank you so much, Brent, for participating, Dr. Johnson.
Yep.
All right, so Kelly, I'm going to allow you on. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way to like put you back in like the regular chat without the video, without me kicking you out. So I don't want to kick you out, Dr. Johnson. But thank you for muting your video.
So digging around in there, I think stop animation does it, maybe?
So let's see. As you all know, as coders, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Right. I hate that, but.
Here we go. Gotta choose the right screen. All right.
Okay, let's see what you got. So I'm assuming you already got the loop part with it flashing, right? 10 times.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that part was pretty easy for everyone.
Oh, nope. And then now it's going back and forth between the. Just kidding.
Okay, no worries. We'll try again. Let's go to Alec. All right. If you could mute your video for me, Kelly. Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing, Alec?
I'm great, thank you.
All right, let's see what we got.
Sharing my screen. So it looks a little long right now. Basically, oops. I just made a little variable under variables called toggle.
Mm-hmm.
And then when a given key was pressed, I just changed the toggle, and then I'm just constantly playing based on what the toggle is. Let's see, although, yeah, I should, let's see, I'm kind of realizing I may have made a mistake here. That's okay.
It's okay, let's test it out. You're definitely on the right path. When I heard you say the word variables, I knew you were on the right path.
Yeah, I think, oh, well, I have to rerun it. Yeah, I think it's not quite working yet. Oh, maybe I didn't run the start. Yeah, no, not quite yet. I think I got a little eager.
But you're on the right path. My solution was very similar. I had mine actually within each of the event handlers themselves. So whenever you press the A button, it set that variable to 1, and then it was constantly moving unless that 1 was changed to something else. I did that for each of my event handlers. And I'm going to put the solution up. The solution will be part of the slide deck as well for those that want it. Oh, can we see it? Sure. Let's see here. So this was, no, this doesn't have the solution. Hold on, I may have to go to, let me go to my projects. Let's try this. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Let's see here. Nope. Oh man. I misplaced the solution. I apologize. I will have it. I will add it though in the slide deck, toward the end of the slide deck, so that you'll all have it. I thought I had it in the Google Doc, but I don't. I misplaced that. Let's try here. Yeah, my apologies. I misplaced the solution, but I will provide that for you in the at the end of the slide deck as a resource for those that want the solution. So, thank you. Yeah, we've been using the heck out of it, Brent, during this time. So we have 3 minutes till break. Are there any questions or any suggestions or comments, or I'm more than welcome to hear any of it. Examples using for loops. Okay. Are you familiar with the actual lessons on the platform, Dr. Johnson?
Microbit.org slash
Yeah.
projects make it code.
Okay. Yeah. And then there's tons, as you know, on YouTube as well. Only thing about the ones on YouTube, obviously, they don't come with like lesson plans and, you know. But if you find one that you really, really like on YouTube, I'm more than willing to like get down and jam with you and come up with a lesson plan for it. I love doing stuff like that. A lot of the ones on YouTube are just the projects themselves, but they don't scaffold or anything like that. So if you find something that you like, let me know, and I'm more than willing to work with you. But yeah, on the actual Microbit website, there's tons of sample projects. And usually what I do for students who are not familiar with it, I start out with the easier ones first, and then I let them expand on them. I ask them questions like, what would you do to make this better? And I go from there. So just to make sure everyone has a copy of the slide deck, let me paste the link one more time. And again, I will update this deck to have the solution for, I'll put it right in with right after this slide that we've been looking at, the one that has the actual activity. I'll put it right after that so that you'll know where it is. But it was very similar to what Alec had. So technically, Alec, I think you won. Would y'all say Alec won the bonus? I agree. Okay. So Alec, if you drop me your email, I'll email you the Starbucks code, and you can put it in your app or whatever. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know how that works, but I was told that I don't have to physically give you the card. You could just put the code in an app. Oh, can't hear you.
Oh yeah, I was on mute. Thank you. Wow, didn't expect to be winning any.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Just shoot me your email and I'll send you that. Someone asked me, do you have them do projects with pins or? So I haven't yet to have them do projects with pins and sensors. Only because the ones that we've ordered, we just ordered the basic kit so far, just because of cost during these times. So I haven't done that with students yet. Me personally, I have used some of the other sensors, but I haven't done them with students yet. And that was for Dr. Johnson. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Kaya, Shannon, Karen again. Make sure I got everybody. Thanks so much, y'all, for coming out tonight. And I believe these sessions are being recorded. So if you missed some of it, you can go to our Constellations YouTube channel and you'll be able to watch them over again. Have a great night, everybody. And Jaleesa, can you drop me your email real quickly before you leave? I want to make sure I get you the information about the vendors. Thank you, Mrs. Fuller, for coming. Great. I'm going to end this session now. Thanks again for coming, and you all have a great night.